places my body, head, and soul. Many miles away, I could start a perfect story. Find myself and find out glory. This deceptive world, giving me the sign, giving me the sign. Giving me the sign, giving me the sign.
Welcome everyone to the Sci-Fi Queens podcast, where we explore the female characters in science fiction, television shows, movies, books, games, art, and anywhere female characters are depicted. If you're new to our channel, we welcome you and we ask that you hit that subscribe and notification bell so you know when our podcast is on. That also helps our channel grow. If you want to help support our channel, you can go to our merch store that is scrolling by the bottom of the channel and just purchase some of our merch there. My name is Nita, and joining me tonight are a few people. We have my co-host, my right-hand lady, Sarah, right there. And we have my brother from another mother, Joe, from Captain Squadron.
Hello.
And
Welcome.
we got the beautiful Tiffany from
Hey,
TV with Tiffany, the nerd goddess. How are you guys doing? Tiffany, how are you?
I'm so good. I'm so happy to be here, Nita. I'm so excited.
Joe, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I just beamed out of the Captain Squadron last night. We talked about the most amazing episode of the franchise that is Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. So I am all set with my sci-fi hat on. So excited, so ready. Let's go.
Yes, I definitely cannot celebrate Black History Month without my brother Joe. We did it last year under Captain Squadron with Spectrum Santorum, and we're doing it again tonight. It is a very exciting time, and I want to just get right into the celebration, and I want to call it that, a celebration,
Mhm.
because Black history is not a separate history. It's American history. It just hasn't been taught. So the reason that we here in America take out this month is because it isn't being taught. So we take out a month to make sure that we highlight all these wonderful achievements done by Black men and Black women, not just in the entertainment industry, but in the sciences, technology, invention, in all areas, authors, all areas, and we would like to be a part of that celebration. Now, we cannot celebrate Black History Month in sci-fi without starting with the Queen herself. Come on
Yeah.
now, people.
Yeah.
Come on
Yeah.
now.
Oh.
Okay, Joe, you
Yep.
are the second boy allowed in our girl
Yes.
podcast.
Yes.
So we're going to start with you.
Okay.
When you saw her for the first time watching Star Trek, 'cause you used to watch Star Trek with your mom.
With my mom, who
So,
is a
yes.
fully African American. Well, 90% African American. We found out we did the ancestry. We got a little bit of Welsh and some things. It's like, oh, what? Really? How that happened? But so that
So,
explains this. But
so
oh my goodness, let me tell you,
what
Nichelle was.
when you saw her on TV, what did it do to you? What did it mean
It,
to you?
of course, it gave me a way to realize that there is a future for us because I grew up in
Mhm.
in a neighborhood where we were definitely the minority. We were one of 3 families of color in the neighborhood, and I was only one of 2 people that actually talked about Star Trek in the neighborhood. And I remembered watching the classic era on, I think it's called TV Land years ago
Yes.
with my
Yeah.
mom, and I remembered seeing Nichelle going, okay, so here's the person that for sure my mom emulated because I knew enough as a child that the show was on long before I existed. So I knew that this was my mom's hero, and I knew that I had to give proper respect. But then then the mirror episode happened where she's walking backwards and she's showing that figure, and it's like, whoa. And she was bad ass. And it was like, okay, not only is she amazing for the show, for a cultural history, but she also had the distinct privilege of being one of the very few African Americans on television and not of a servant role. So
Yes.
much
Mhm.
so that when she decided that
Mhm.
she wanted to leave the show. I don't know if you guys
Yes.
knew about that, but then
Yes, we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dr.
Oh
Martin Luther
yeah.
King was like, "Hey, we do not have any proper representation on
Yep.
television.
Yeah.
You are an authoritative role on TV. You are given respect. Please stay." And she did. And it's
Yeah.
been amazing ever since.
Yeah.
Yes. And Tiffany, I don't know when
Yeah.
your sci-fi journey started, but what does Nichelle Nichols mean to you in the Star Trek franchise?
Well, for me, like I started watching when I was a kid too with my aunt. She's a big Star Trek. She loves everything Star Trek. She actually met Nichelle Nichols multiple times. And
Oh, wow.
right when I was telling her I was doing this, she was like, "Oh my God, are they gonna talk about Nichelle Nichols?" Yes. So she introduced me to Star Trek really. And so seeing Nichelle Nichols, I was like, wait, there's a black lady on this? Like even like at 8, I was like, wait a minute. This in my mind, Star Trek, just like from being a little kid, I just thought, oh, it's just white people. I didn't think about, anybody being on there that was not only black,
Mhm.
but like he said, like not in a servant role. She was like, she had speaking parts, like she was a
Mhm.
major part of the
He was a
episode. Like,
lieutenant.
Yeah,
right,
she was
right. She
authoritative.
had a major role. She wasn't just like a background character that they would show every now and then. Like they
Mhm.
showed her. And
Mhm.
it helped that she was gorgeous. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
she was gorgeous. So it was like a beauty standard that really wasn't gained like for black women in that
Mhm.
like period of TV. Like even like watching old shows now, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
they kind of let us be, our beautiful selves, but they put her on like a pedestal of beauty. Like she was like, they're like, get out here, be as
Yep.
beautiful as you want to be. We're not gonna change, things about you. They
Mhm.
let her be. And so I
Yes.
just that's really what hit with me with seeing her.
Yes. Now, Sarah, you are not African American, but
No.
What?
you do.
No, I'm kidding.
I know, it's a shock. She may not know this.
She looked
I,
like my cousin.
she may not know this. I gotta tell her that.
Just a reminder.
But you do have a biracial daughter,
Yes.
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
Oh.
you are a long-term Star Trek
Yes.
viewer. What did you think when you saw her? Coming from where you come from, what did seeing her mean to you?
Well, honestly, I recognize her more as a female than as a person of color, just
Mhm.
because uh the TV that was on. I'm gonna say I started watching Trek in '84 maybe, but just seeing most of the TV, the cop shows, the sci-fi shows, you had Alien Nation and you had um like, oh, what is it?
Oh,
I don't even
R.I.P.
remember what they
Jerry.
are, but like there weren't a lot of female lead characters or even main characters. Like you mentioned, they'd be there for like set dressing or
Mhm.
background, and
Mhm.
they wouldn't have an actual integral part. But she, as you guys said, she is in a position of power. And um that was like, hey, well, if she can be there and hold her own amongst all these men, then maybe I can do some, what I mean. I'm trying to say that I could I don't have to go in a traditional female career role, if that makes sense.
No,
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
So you're
Yeah.
Mhm.
a cop, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I thought so.
Yeah.
No, wait. You asked her if she was a cop.
Yeah.
He asked if you were a
No,
cop,
my mom.
I just assumed.
right?
No. I no, that's that's no, that's they used to watch a lot of cop shows and stuff, and
Oh,
crime, and I mean that's what was popular and on TV at the time. There
oh,
wasn't a
yeah,
lot of
yeah. T.J.
it was
Hooker
the
and
Mhm.
it
everything.
was
Yeah, yeah.
there was
Mhm.
daytime
Dragnet.
TV
Yeah.
and like sitcoms and then like
Hmm.
cop shows.
Yeah.
There was a whole bunch of them. No, my mom was, but no, I'm definitely not a police officer.
No. I was
I
gonna
mean, when I remember watching Star Trek,
Hmm.
the original series, it was the late 70s because I was five or
Hmm.
six. So it was the late 70s, early 80s. Uh, it's got to be late 70s, mid to no, mid 70s. I forgot what year I was born. I was born in 71, mid 70s.
Oh, wow.
And so when I saw the first episode I ever saw, she was on, okay? And it was the one with Trials and Tribulations. And
Oh,
you
that's
saw
great.
her,
Mm-hmm.
and she is a person with authority. She's beautiful. My brother is sitting there going, "Wow, she's so beautiful." My father in the back, "Oh yeah, she's gorgeous. Look at the legs," you know. And she was the standard of beauty that at a young
Mm-hmm.
age had been put in my brain. I didn't know that because I was too young to realize the influence of what was being said around me. But as I got older, and I when I moved to Puerto Rico, I was around 6 or 7, and we have cousins that look, if they came here, you would be like, oh, they're African American black, but they're not. They're Afro Latinos, and they look just as beautiful as she did. And the first thing out of my mouth when they came out of the car and we were walking, was, "Oh, they look like Ahura." And my mother was like, shut up,"
Mm-hmm.
because she was like, "No, no, 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 don't do that," you know. And I'm like, "But they do," and they're like the most beautiful in the world. Like I said, wow, these cousins of mine are gorgeous. They're beautiful. They taught me everything I know about doing hair. Um, they were just the sweetest people in the world. And I felt like I saw someone in TV that looked like my family, that looked similar to me. And that meant something important to me. Um, and that meant representation in some way. I mean, before her, what do we have? Ricky Ricardo? To be honest, I didn't even realize he was Latino. Like, because for me,
Yeah.
Latino is someone that was brown when I was little. I didn't put two and two together like that. And
It's ironic that you mentioned Ricky Ricardo. He is inaugural in the
yes, he
creation of Star
is.
Trek.
Yes, the
Yeah.
Lucille Ball
Mhm.
production, is
Desilu. Desilu.
Desilu production pushed to get this show on to television. So that is really amazing, and I didn't know
I
it
didn't know that.
then. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know it then as a
I didn't know
child,
that.
but
Yeah.
it is important for us to know that it was, something that we as Latinos were a part of,
That's right.
and seeing ourselves in the future is important. I think is so important for us, and she set the standard, and she helped NASA open programs
Mm-hmm.
so that they can open the programs to minorities and people of color and women to get into the NASA program. And so a lot of these astronauts that we see today that are people of color, Latinos and blacks, it's all due to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All because she didn't quit. Had she quit, had Martin Luther King not been a Trekkie, can I just say I think that's the baddest in the world?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That one of the best civil rights activists ever was a Trekkie. Can I
Yeah.
just say that's awesome?
It's amazing.
He
Yeah.
had he not convinced her to stay, how different NASA program would be today,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Very
Yeah.
know?
true. Very true.
And
Well,
that's
TV would be different too. I
Yes.
mean,
Yeah.
oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, she made movies. I
mhm.
mean, there was what, about 4 or 5 movies after Star Trek, the original series,
The
and she
six.
was it about
He was in
6,
all six.
all
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We just did
Mm-hmm.
that one yesterday.
yeah. She did all of them,
Yeah.
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 And I loved it. And we have her here in the outfit that you were talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah. Look at that. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Mhm.
Mirror universe. I was like,
Yes.
whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah. That's
she looked like the black woman next door. Like this is what we see. They didn't hide who she was, and that's something that I always love.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I selected the picture of her and Kirk kissing is because it's a pivotal moment in
Yeah.
TV, because
Yeah.
it was the first interracial kiss that was televised, and they had a fight for it. Now, Joe,
yes.
talk to me.
Well, this is
We've
how my
talked
mom
about
knew I
this.
was straight. So she was like, Oh, you really like Uhura? Yeah. So that's how my mom knew or how I would turn
Mm.
out.
No,
In
but
the
talk to
future.
me about that interracial kiss. You and I have
This was
spoken.
a moment. So this is a moment where it to me because my father is German Portuguese and my mother's African American. So me, it's like, oh, it's just like mom and dad. But
Mm,
when I spoke to my mom and my dad about it, more so my mother, but it was the big game changer for television because that didn't
mhm,
happen. And I even in the 80s where I was growing up in Rhode Island, it was still kind of, oh, wait a minute. But it meant so much to have this type of um, barrier breaking moment on
mm,
television because who knows, maybe might not be here if this kiss didn't happen because when you see something like this on television, and it's often the case where television breaks the boundaries for people
mhm.
because it's if it's on television, people seem to accept it more in society. And having this moment, breaking that barrier, Star Trek doing it first, yay, just really, really changed society for the better,
Mhm.
Yeah.
in my opinion. And it's possibly why I'm here.
That's very true.
Though I
Tiffany,
wish my dad was William Shatner.
or at least had his bank account. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Right?
exactly. Does last. Nope. He
Right?
hit me up for
Tiffany,
$20 last month.
did you ever watch the episode where they kissed?
I have seen the episode.
Mhm.
For me, like it didn't really I'm gonna be honest, like as a kid, I didn't really think much of it. I was just like, it's
Me
just two people
neither.
kissing. I didn't
Mhm.
really understand the significance of the moment,
Mhm.
but now obviously I do, like just thinking about other interracial couples on TV, just imagining them not being possible, that not being a thing that's accepted without them pushing this barrier and doing this.
Yeah.
Like just
Yes.
thinking like my favorite interracial couple, Fitz and Olivia, on Scandal, like they wouldn't be possible.
Mhm.
And also remember, um, during the time that this kiss was televised, not every state in the United States it
Right.
was legal to be in
Yeah,
an interracial marriage.
that's right.
If you
No.
were married to someone who was white and you were black, you were only married within the states that allowed
Yeah.
interracial marriages. If you went somewhere where it didn't, where it was illegal, then you've committed a crime.
Yeah.
It was technically you can go to prison for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was, and Star Trek was aired in all channels, so
Yeah.
this was huge,
It broke the
definitely huge.
barrier, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
It made people
Sarah,
see William
yeah,
Shatner kissing her. It was like William Shatner is kissing a black woman. And
yes.
it's like, okay, okay,
Yeah.
So
okay.
Sarah, talk to me. Did you watch this episode as a
Uh,
kid or as an adult?
well, both. Um, oh no, because I just completed a rewatch through of the original series. I because
Mm,
they when I was a kid, when I was about 8, I think they were syndicated and they were
Mhm.
on every afternoon after the cartoons at 4 o'clock. So and they didn't show them in order. So
No.
mhm,
so I
mhm,
never watched them all the way through. I'd seen them all, but I'd never watched them in order before. So
mhm.
I went ahead and I just recently did that. And when I saw this when I was a kid, I didn't really think anything of it because,
Right.
I grew up for the first, 10 years of my life. We lived in California. I had an uncle. His name was Clarence. He was a person of
Clarence
color. He
Thomas.
was huh?
Clarence Thomas.
No, but no, he draw he
He's so
he
Mm.
bad.
built and raced go-go karts. I mean, he wasn't like really an uncle. He was just one of those family friends, and
Oh,
obviously
Oh,
because
okay.
okay.
Mhm,
Yeah.
his skin
mhm.
didn't match mine, so he
Mhm.
wasn't really my uncle. But I mean, that was the environment that I grew up in California because it was very blended and not a big deal. And
Mhm.
then so when I saw this, it was just two people kissing, like Tiffany
Yeah.
said, it was just two people kissing. It was
Mhm.
no big deal. But then as an adult and watching some of the things in the show that didn't age very well, um, this is one of the things that did because it was so impactful, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, it makes absolute sense. As children, we are not born with the
Right.
idea that
Yeah.
Sarah is white and Tiffany's black and they should be separated. And we are
Mhm.
not born with racist tendencies. Those are learned tendencies. And this whole conversation of I saw it when I was little and it didn't mean anything to me, but as an adult, I understand the impact teaches us how that's so true.
Right.
Mhm.
And it does,
Yeah.
because we understand the impact because we're adults and we are aware of the world around us. As children, we just love the show and be like, "Oh, Kirk is a horror,"
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
you know. Um, Now this is another. This woman, Celia Rose Gooding, could she have been cast any more perfect to play young Uhura?
No,
I
this
don't think anyone in the world could have done this job.
can I
They
can I be
cast.
Yeah.
controversial for a second?
Oh, watch out! Watch
Hey,
out!
what's up now? Here we go. I invite you on my show,
You
and you
see,
ruin it.
this is why boys are not allowed. No, go ahead.
I feel that she was properly cast compared to the movie remake.
I was
I
gonna
Mhm.
thought
say
she was,
too.
yeah, I thought she was a better
Yes.
casted
Yeah.
actress than I can't remember the name.
Zoe Saldana.
Yes,
Zeldana, yeah.
Zoe
I thought
Mhm.
Saldana. Yes,
Mhm.
she
she
was
nothing away from
definitely.
Yes.
her. I just feel like she didn't fit in the
Yeah.
Yes,
role as much
agreed.
as Celia
Mhm.
Rose Gooding does, and they both can sing, Nichelle Nichols and Celia. So I thought that was a very interesting mirror, since you had Mirror Universe but a second ago. I thought that was an interesting mirror parallel between the two actresses.
Yes, and I agree. I think I love Zoe Saldana. Nothing against her, and I have nothing against her playing a woman of color because she is a Afro Latina.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Personally, but I don't think she fit the character of Uhura.
Mhm.
Uhura is an iconic character. When you cast an iconic character to do it again with a new person, you're on thin ice. You've got to be careful with that.
Mhm.
I think she is Celia Rose Gooding is the better choice, uh, and she's amazing. Tiffany, what are your thoughts? And you could be controversial here. It's all good. Hmm. We
Oh,
can't
you're
hear you.
muted.
You muted
You're muted.
yourself.
There you
Oh,
go.
sorry. I was gonna say the same thing Joe said. When the picture popped up, I was like, "Oh, remember that time they had Zoe Saldana?" Thinking that too. But yes, I
Hmm.
think the casting is great. When they introduced her character, I was like, she is a horror. Like I can feel
Yes,
it. Like she feels like a younger version of Nichelle
Yeah.
Nichols for
yes.
me.
Yes.
Like it feels like perfect
Mhm,
casting. Like just her mannerisms, the way that she is with
Yeah.
the other crew members, right? It's just
Mhm.
like,
mhm.
yeah, it
This is
fits.
why I picked this picture because you can tell that Celia Rose Gooden has studied her character.
Yes, yes, the
Those
mannerisms,
are the
everything.
manner, and those
Hmm.
things matter. I'm someone
Yeah,
who doesn't mind watching remakes, but when I see a remake and they're doing like
yeah,
exact characters, I'm like, I'm looking to see what's familiar. What are
yeah,
the patterns? What are the movements? What's
Mhm.
happening here?
yeah.
Because I think that those things bring honor to that character. She's the queen. We gotta honor her. Don't
Right.
mess with Nichelle Nichols. So Sarah, when you saw Star Trek: The Strange New World and saw Celia Rose Gooding playing Uhura, what were your feelings and thoughts about that?
Well, we had Zoe, and she didn't do great. I mean, she was okay in that role, but I wasn't what I would have preferred. This is closer to that, and this actually, um, Celia makes it feel like she's a younger version of the Uhura that we know, that
Yes.
and that we get to watch her evolve from where she is to where she's going, and that you
Mhm.
kind of want to go on that
Hmm.
journey with her.
Hmm.
Yes, absolutely. I think
Hmm.
that that is so important. And one thing that the Star Trek Discovery, um, excuse me, Star Trek Strange New Worlds writers are getting is writing these iconic characters because
Yeah,
they're writing on thin ice.
yeah.
I'm like every episode, you're getting it right. Are you getting it right? Because it's really important to get those characters right. You know, and we have here her in the full uniform. She looks so beautiful. I really love the look of the uniform. What do you guys think?
I
I think
love that she's not
mhm.
wearing a skirt. I just thought that the pants fit her character so well. I was like, this makes sense. I
Yes,
love that.
absolutely. I did. I love this new look of hers. I thought that it was
Hmm.
fantastic. fantastic. There is something specific I want to point out. If you know, you know. When I saw this moment with this beautiful woman, and this is the episode when we find out that number one is genetically altered.
Mm,
Mhm.
And she comes out of her little like bed pod, but she's all sealed up, and her head is wrapped. I felt like
Mhm.
the writers understood how to write a black character.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
think, Tiffany?
Because she's just not gonna go to bed without wrapping her hair. It's just
that's
it
right.
has to she has to cover her hair. It has
Yeah,
to make sense. Right.
yeah,
So when I saw that, really in my mind, Nita, I didn't even think like, oh, they made her wrap her hair. I was just like, yeah, that it made sense to me. It didn't even click
mhm,
to me that it was like an intentional moment just because
yeah,
I didn't see it as an intentional moment. I just saw it as a hero went to bed, she wrapped her hair.
exactly.
Hmm.
So, Joe, what about you? When you saw her, what were your thoughts?
Uh,
Did it even click that this
oh, it
happened?
clicked. It clicked because that's how I know my mom. My mom, before she would either
Mhm.
have the big curls with wrapped up with the done do rag over, or she would just wrap it like that when she got the other perm, the flat perm. She'd be like, all right, I
Mhm,
gotta
Mhm.
wrap.
yeah.
So I had the distinct honor of meeting Celia in person, and she was on a panel. I wasn't a part of that panel. I was on a Farscape panel, but she had spoken about this moment. She said that it wasn't something that she requested. It was something that they
Mhm.
wanted to do. The studio wanted to do, and
Right.
they brought the costume, and she was like, "Oh, this is great!" She absolutely was like, "This is great. This is exactly how you would assume somebody like
Mhm.
this to be in
Yeah.
sleep attire
Yeah.
at
Now,
that time."
Sarah, how about you? Did this make sense to you? Did you
Oh
understand
yeah,
it?
no, I understand because we used to have to wrap Leah's hair when she was younger. It's
Mhm.
more straight like mine now, but we used to have to. So it just kind of like Tiffany said, it just seemed normal,
It made
and
sense.
Yeah.
and honestly, that's how it should feel. I mean, it is
Mhm.
iconic, but it should feel normal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's
Mhm.
one of the things that I want to point out is that when
Mhm.
writers are writing for characters, regardless to their ethnic background, it should feel normal. It should feel like they didn't make a point of pointing that
Mhm.
out in conversation. She just came out of it. She talked to number
Yeah,
one. She did what she had to do. And it was just a part of it. It
yeah.
wasn't pointed out. And I like that,
Mhm.
you
It
know?
was part of the natural flow, and as
Mm-hmm.
and that is 100% how it should be. It
Yes.
shouldn't be like, oh hey look, why is your hair wrapped? It shouldn't, they shouldn't draw attention to it. It should just be the normal way that people go to bed.
Yeah.
Everybody
Mhm.
does their own thing.
Yes, absolutely. I completely agree with you. Um, Now, I want to read
Mhm.
something to the audience, because we're going to be talking about something that came up in Star Trek Discovery, and I want to read why it's important. It is actually a law called the Crown Act. The Crown Act is a law that prohibits race-based hair discrimination, which is the denial of employment and education opportunities because of hair texture or protective hairstyles. The law stands for create a respectful and open world for natural hair. The law extends protection under existing federal law and state laws to hairstyles and textures associated with race, such as braids, locks, twists, and knots.
Mhm.
I remember before this law came, and it was a challenge for many of us to abide in school or at work
Mhm.
with the regulations, because for my hair texture, I can easily blow it out and make it straight during the winter. I could do any style in the winter because the humidity isn't affecting it. I don't be blowing out my hair in the summertime. Joe can tell you. Okay, he know.
I
You
know.
pull your hair out in the summertime in New York City, the
Mm-mm.
humidity makes it
Mhm.
grow, and it's
Ugh.
like a hot mess. It's not even nice looking. Okay, and it's uncomfortable. It and sometimes you just need to let it curl. Um And I grew up with a mom who
Mhm.
has straight hair, who didn't know what to do with her daughter's curly hair. Um, and I would hear things like, from people in my neighborhood, like, "Oh, her hair's so messy," and it really wasn't. It was
Mhm.
just curly. And she's like, "No, it's combed. It's curly. It's not messy. It's curly."
Mhm.
And it became a big deal even in school. "Oh, you have to comb your daughter's hair," and she's like, "I'm not gonna tie her hair up when she doesn't want it in a ponytail or in a braid." And it was something that had to be done
Mhm.
because we would get that conversation. She would have that conversation with teachers. "Well, you have to comb your daughter's hair." "Well, her hair is combed. It's curly." And even in Puerto Rico, you would think that they would be more understanding, but there's a lot of more people with straight hair than you
Mhm.
think. And that idea of straight hair being neat and
Yeah,
curly hair or natural texture hair not being neat, it
right.
was a big deal then. So I wanted to bring this to us to understand why I'm gonna just totally fan out when I saw my favorite,
Mm,
Sonequa Martin Green.
yes.
Yes,
Okay,
Mhm.
we have her
yes.
here
The Walking
The
Dead.
Walking Dead,
The Walking
but
Dead,
I
yeah.
Mhm.
love the fact that they gave her this braid because it's some. I mean, it's the apocalypse, right? This is
Right,
Yeah.
probably the best she could do, and
Yeah.
here
right.
she is
Mhm.
on on the Discovery ship with these beautiful braids. I want to start with Tiffany. Talk to me, Tiffany. When you saw her walking on to that first episode with braids, I want to hear what your thoughts are.
My first thought was she looks gorgeous. I was
Mhm.
so hopeful. Like when I saw the casting for this, because of course, when the casting came out, I was like, perfect casting. I loved her in The Walking Dead. Couldn't wait to see her take on Michael Burnham.
Yes.
But when I saw that they were actually not gonna like make her wear straight hair or like,
Mhm.
a slick back ponytail or something like that, I was like, yes, they're actually going to let her be a black woman. Even in the
Yes.
future, we're gonna have braids, okay?
Yeah, right.
It was like braids
Our
are still a
hair
thing.
is
The
not
braids
going to change in the future. It'll
exactly.
still
Braids are
be
gonna
this.
be exactly.
Yeah, it's still
Braids are
gonna
gonna
be
be
like
in
that.
every picture. We're gonna take them with us out of space. Okay.
Yes.
So I was when they let her have those braids, or not let her, but when they let the character that be her look for the first season, like for
Yes.
me, I was blown away because again, they didn't make her straighten her hair or like wear a wig like that was a straight hair wig or anything like that. So
Yeah.
just like I was blown away seeing her. It made her because obviously she's already a black woman, a black character, but it made her a black character, if you know what
Yes,
I
it
mean.
did. Yes, I do. I
Mhm.
do. Because when you first see her, you see her in Discovery, you see flashbacks of her with the Vulcan haircut, which I can
Right, right,
understand.
right,
I can
right.
understand she's trying to assimilate,
That was her
right?
Right.
identity then. Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
And then you see her with the short hair, but the style of her hair, it is you could tell she is a black woman.
Yeah,
The
Mhm.
the growth of her hair as the show progresses, they
yeah,
just embrace that.
yeah,
And I love that about her.
yeah. Even
So
her hairstyle in
Joe,
later seasons.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Joe,
agree.
talk to me. You have a black mama. What went through your mind when you saw this woman?
Well, I mean, at first glance, I'm thinking she looks exactly like my absolute best friend. Shout out to Shaquilla. Uh, First time I ever saw her on Walking Dead, Shaquilla and I started watching the show. I was like, "Are you related to this girl? She looks almost like they looked like at the time twins." Like, I kid you not. You're like, "Oh." And then Shaquilla, when the show came out, happened to have the exact same braids.
Yeah,
Just a coincidence. It's like, "Hey, look, your twin is now on my show, Star Trek. We're ready." Uh, from a cultural perspective, I absolutely loved that she was able to keep the braided hair because it's such a powerful look. When you look back
Hmm.
at some of the African queens and kings, historically, they have the braids. They have
Hmm.
even King Solomon. He kept his power because he kept his long braids,
yeah,
unfortunately, when they cut his hair, he lost his power. So for me,
Hmm.
this was a show of great strength.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah,
gonna deal with a
mhm,
character that's just gonna be pushed aside.
yeah.
So
yeah.
I absolutely
Yeah,
love
absolutely.
it.
Sarah,
Oh
what did
yeah.
you think when you saw her going on? What went through your mind? Because I know that you are very much in touch um, uh, with what's the significance of it culturally.
Oh, I mean, I followed her from Walking Dead because
Yes.
I'm a diehard fan.
Me
But
too.
then when she was on Discovery, I was kind of when they first, showed her with her Vulcan hair and the short hair, and I was like, I was a little nervous. But
Right.
Mhm.
then they let her. Well, I mean, because we should be more with the times now, but it's still Hollywood, so. But then they let her have her hair, and you
Yes.
know, if these okay, I'm gonna be frank. If these white girls can be on the bridge with their hair down, why can't the captain? Why
Yes.
can't
Hmm.
anyone? Why can't
Yeah.
anyone
Yes.
have whatever hair they want? I mean, everybody else does. So
Mhm.
It's a
Yeah.
testament to the show Discovery because look at
yeah,
Tilly. Like they
Yes.
let
Yeah.
her keep her
Yeah.
natural,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Mhm.
yeah, and
Curly
Tilly
hair.
gets to
Yeah.
keep her curls. She has hair
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
Yes.
yours, Nita.
Yes. That's
Yeah,
what I was
she
gonna
does.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tilly is like all she needs to do is get a tan because she will be my perfect idol.
There
And
you
a little
go.
bit of tan because she
Love
represents.
Silly.
I don't think she's plus size. I think she beautifully
Mm-hmm.
fit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. She's like
to
a mid-sized queen. Hmm.
Hollywood standards puts her on a plus size.
Hmm.
So this is we fat people in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on the
They
ship.
We're
yes,
on
we
the
on the
ship.
ship. We on the ship. We didn't
We're
get
on the ship.
erased.
Yeah.
That
Right.
is a huge thing because
Yeah.
as much as I love science fiction, they haven't put a big person.
Not
And
as
Yeah.
a hero. Not as a hero.
yeah,
Not
They're
right.
usually
Right.
a
Right.
villain.
Not as somebody
They're
you're gonna
always a
root for.
no,
Yeah.
villain,
not as a
or
Yeah.
always
yeah.
a villain, always a
Yeah.
villain.
Hmm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And Tilly is brilliant. She's smart, and she is full figured and she has curly hair. She has the exact same hair. Like if she combed out
Hmm.
her curls, I get the poof just like that. Like she and I have the same hair. And I understand her hair struggles. Like you could see when they put her in a ponytail, like in a bun, it don't really quite fit. Like you could tell they made it so that she felt awkward with herself.
Hmm.
And it wasn't until she started to feel comfortable. And I remember something she said because I'm re-watching Discovery because in April it's coming back for its final
Hmm.
season.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
when they go to the mirror universe and she's supposed to dress up like her counterpart, she goes, oh, and Burnham does her hair and it's all straight. She goes, oh, my mother would be happy. You know, I felt that. I felt
Mm-hmm.
that because it was more socially acceptable for me to blow up my hair than to leave it curly.
Hmm.
And I've been told some things, and I've been through some things. I remember once. I grew up going to church, and the youth always had like these big campaigns. And I was like, "All right, I'm going to college, but I want to be a part of this." So I went straight from college to the church and my hair was all curly. So I didn't have time to like blow it out or put it up. And this guest speaker who did not know me, I'd never seen him before, she says, "Don't you think you should have combed your hair before coming to church?"
Mm.
Mm.
It was just curly. It was just curly. And I said,
Yeah.
if God wanted me to have straight hair, don't you think He should have given it to me? Maybe you need to concern yourself with your preaching. I was done by then. I
Mm.
had just heard so much negativity about
Yeah.
my hair that I was like done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And my pastor's in the background going, "Oh yeah, he didn't. He didn't go.
Yeah, you done messed up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He messed
Yeah.
up. Like he knew that was not gonna
Yeah.
you know this was the constant that I kept hearing. That's why you know emphasizing on Discovery, making sure that a captain is wearing her hair the way a natural black woman would is huge for me. It's huge. Seeing
Hmm.
Tilly, who is considered plus size for Hollywood, which Hollywood she's not. Hello.
Mm-mm.
um she's healthy. Don't make that girl be anorexic, okay?
Yeah.
um and have her curls and have her beautiful poofy red hair. Like it, it means
Yeah.
something to us
Yeah.
that are watching. And I think that Michael Burnham has done, Sonequa Martin Green has done what Nichelle Nichols did for girls in the 60s. She
Hmm.
brought she brought attention to what mattered in black women, for these young girls, and they may not see it yet, but one day they're gonna look back and go, "Whoa, the impact of seeing that representation is huge.
Yep.
It's so
Yeah.
important,
Yeah.
And
absolutely important." Hmm.
I think that because this, Burnham was able to wear her hair the way she was, our new Uhura was able to wrap her hair. That
Yes,
it's like,
Oh,
because you have
wow.
to learn
Yeah,
how to
that's a good
walk before
point.
you can run.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
If this
think
hadn't
so.
worked right, then they wouldn't have allowed that.
Us to see
Yeah.
her.
It
Yes,
was
Yeah.
a
I
culture.
think
It
so.
was a culture step for her having
Right.
these
Yeah.
braids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once
Mhm.
they made that
Absolutely.
step, it was
Yeah.
okay, and now they can keep going. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Ohura's hair naturally is natural on the show. It's not
Hmm.
permed or anything.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
straight as we would be. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And now we have this beautiful woman.
Oh,
Oh my
of her.
God.
Michonne.
Oh, Danai Gurira. She is absolutely beautiful. Um, Anything she does
Yeah.
so powerfully.
Yeah.
And here she is in The Walking Dead. Um, Joe, talk to me when you see her in The Walking Dead.
So when you first meet her, she's a mysterious shadow character that's walking around with
Mhm.
two zombies and a katana, and you're like,
Right.
"What is going on?" And it is a stunning moment because all of a sudden you see this beautiful woman underneath all of that cloak, and she is nasty with that sword.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, oh yeah,
Yes.
I may look good, but I'm gonna cut you up because I ain't
Yeah.
playing," and she's fully prepared for all the BS that she has to deal with.
Yes. Now, Tiffany, when you saw her
Yeah.
character, um, and she's played these iconic characters. Look at her here in Black
Yeah.
Panther.
Yeah.
She is truly amazing. With locks or not, bald, it don't matter. The woman is gorgeous.
Right.
She can
Right.
do no wrong. There's no part that she can't play. It's ridiculous.
She
Um,
brings power to every role she does. For
yeah,
me, seeing her on The Walking Dead, well, I read the comics, so I
Oh,
knew
so
she
you
Oh
knew
yeah,
about that? Yeah,
so I knew
yeah,
I was hoping that they were gonna, stay true to the character.
yeah.
When I saw the casting, I was like, okay, stay true to the character. Let's see if they give her locks. When I saw that it was gonna be her, I was like, well, how are they gonna do this? But look,
yeah, that's how I got
Yes,
into it. Yeah.
but
yes.
I knew. But I was like, I knew, I thought like, how are they gonna do this? When I saw, that they did the locks with the wig, I was like, they did a good job. Like a lot
Yeah.
of people, like my sister, she had no
I
idea,
didn't
right?
even know that
Right. Like
that
my
was a
sister had no
wig.
idea. She was like, wait, that's a wig? I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, this actress she has her hair cut short, very
Yeah.
short,
Yeah. Now,
just as her natural
Sarah,
look.
I know you are a Walking Dead fan as well.
oh yes,
And you also are big with comics.
yes. I
Did
have
you
all
know?
5 books, Joe.
Oh, excuse
Oh,
me. I've got
Oh,
the one I could reach.
I got all 5.
I
They're
think the
That
behind
four
was
me.
a
of us,
struggle.
I think the four of us can start a whole new podcast,
Yeah,
The
just
look,
on
Walking
about
Walking
Dead.
the
Dead.
Walking
Yeah.
Dead.
Oh
Just
yeah,
as the
Right.
Now, when you saw that they kept her true to, because comics, I'll tell you one thing, comics has been more progressive than TV
oh
because
yes,
Yeah.
when it comes to
Hmm.
people of color and keeping characters true to that ethnicity. So when you
Hmm.
saw that they kept her in the braids, what went through your mind?
I was happy because some of the characters, and I'm sure you guys can understand this. Some of them
I will.
didn't translate well from the
Nope.
page. A lot of them did, but
Yes,
Mhm.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
agreed. I
and
read the comics too, so yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and
Yeah,
Yeah.
some
like
and
Jesus. I
sometimes
thought it was weird.
and it's not just with that. I mean, even when we did Paper Girls, some of that was
Yes,
not that, because I did watch the show and it
me
didn't
too. And it didn't
translate.
translate
Yeah,
correctly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
because the way that they're represented on paper, I mean, it's a lot easier to draw some of the hairstyles and just pick something and go with it. And it just, I like that they gave her the hair that she was supposed to have, and that
Hmm.
Hmm.
like Sonequa's braid, they're her locks are the way they are, and they're not super clean because it's the
Hmm.
apocalypse.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
not like she just walked out of a salon. It's like she's been
Right.
taking care of these on her own out in the
Right.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
like that because it gives you the sense that, she's been taking care of them for them, and they're not easy to care for.
Right.
It takes a little processing, it takes a
Yep.
little time, and she's had to kind of do this on the go with
Hmm.
zombies coming at her, but
Hmm.
they don't
Yeah.
make her look like some kind of dirty person, like
Yeah.
a
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
criminal, or
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
kind of knew what line not to cross.
For
Yes.
me, Nita, like seeing her when they first showed her, like Joe said, when they finally revealed her, I just thought like, okay, this gives me a timeline of of how long it's been since she had to get a retwist, like since the world
Yes.
went down. It gives me a little
Hmm.
bit of a timeline just seeing her hair. I'm like, it's been a minute. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, they've
So
been doing this
long.
for a while.
Yeah.
Yes, because if you see the flashbacks where she
Right,
talks,
right,
thinking about her husband, her
right,
hair is shiny.
right,
Oh
Mhm.
right,
It
yeah.
even
right,
got little like
right.
butterflies or clips on
Right.
them,
So
and
it gives you a
they're
good little timeline.
Yeah.
Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's what I was
you
thinking. I was
don't
like,
have
oh, it's
that
been a
going on.
minute.
Her hair's a little bit more dull,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no little clips on it,
Mm-hmm. No
and
wash
yes,
days, so
yes,
no
No, no,
luster,
no.
yes,
Mm.
Yeah.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Black Panther, she plays Okoye. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Denai Gurira. She is bald, and I think it brings a sense of power.
Yeah.
I think
She's
it
I love that
Leah's.
they're all bald. It just
yes.
gives
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
it made them like
Hmm.
it made them for me more powerful. It was like
Yes.
they don't
Yes.
have to be, and like when she has to wear the wig in some of the scenes when they're like out and about and she throws
Yeah.
the wig off, like that
She
shit is
was
just
like,
So
like,
"This is
uncomfortable.
I
itchy."
can't do this. Because
Yeah.
they're trying to like conform to like fit in. Because they're like, if they see a
Mhm.
bald black woman, they're automatically going to look at me because I am a statement piece when I'm here. And, as a bald black woman, everybody wants to see me. But with my hair, I can kind of blend in like that. That spoke a lot to me about that. But I love that they're all bald. Like
Yes.
it's scarier. It's more badass for me. Like
Yes.
literally.
Yeah.
Yes. Sarah, what do you thought when you saw that they were all the
Well, I was
soldiers?
excited to see. Oh, I mean, I was sad that she left Walking Dead to go do this, but I was happy
Yes,
to see
me
her
too.
because we hate it when our characters
But
leave.
she's back.
But
No, she's back. She got her own
yeah,
show.
yeah,
She
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 got
should.
her
is.
own
She's
show,
back.
But I
February
mean,
25th.
Yep.
Yes.
You gotta
You will be
watch it on
tuned
The
in.
AMC.
ones who live.
Yes.
um,
Yeah.
but I really when I first saw her on, in Black Panther, I was like, oh wow, and just that she's so powerful, and she's actually Leah's favorite character.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
She's like, where's Okoye? Where is she? And like, was that one it? And like, we saw, Leah had a Marvel comic book, and she was trying to see who somebody was in the book, and I looked at it and said, oh, that's Okoye, and she's, oh yes.
Yeah, dude.
She
Yes,
was so happy.
absolutely. Now, next one is actually a very underrated TV show called The Expanse. This
Love.
sci-fi is
Oh,
fantastic. I
yes.
absolutely love Dominique
Love.
Tipper as Naomi Nagata. Tiffany, you're
She
gasping.
is
Talk to
not to
me.
be messed with. Naomi,
No.
listen, she's not to be messed with.
All right,
Naomi
so I gotta
Nagata.
finish this show for
Oh
sure.
my God. Yeah.
You
So
haven't seen it?
I've
You
never
have
finished it. I
to.
started
Oh, you
I saw the
have to.
first
It's
season. Yeah.
absolutely
right,
good.
because when they first started, they were on Sci-Fi, I believe, and then
Right.
the Amazon picked them up because they got canceled.
Mhm.
And when
Correct.
Amazon picked them up, I will tell you, it got better. Her character was highlighted a little bit more. I feel like
Mhm.
the
Mm.
showrunners are like, we need to show more of her. They gave her a little bit more backstory as far as like, I think one of the seasons was mostly focused on her and her
Mhm.
ex-husband or her baby daddy or something like that. I can't remember if they were married or whatnot with her child. Like it
I
was
think
like,
it was his baby daddy situation.
yeah, right, her
Yeah.
baby daddy, right.
Mhm.
But right, but like her character, like when when she was set, to go do something, they were like, we're gonna, Nagata's gonna do it, like no
Yeah.
questions. Like I
Yes.
love her
I
character,
think that she's
so
amazing,
powerful.
and I also love the fact that they kept her hair looking
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
natural.
yeah,
This is what a natural black woman. This
yeah,
is how someone who's a black woman would comb their hair like. This is one of the
yeah.
styles
And she
that they
wasn't a
would
background
do.
character. She's
No,
not a
she
No.
was not.
background.
No.
She
Right,
was in
exactly.
charge. Sarah,
Mm-hmm.
you watched
Mm-hmm.
The Expanse, right? So,
Yes,
what do you think about this character?
I liked it because like the other girl that we highlighted in the other episode, the that they are dressed the way that they would dress for functionality.
Yeah.
And that, her hair is short so she can wear a helmet. It's
Yeah.
not, it's not
Yeah.
extravagant and doesn't make sense. It's not this. I don't know how to explain it, but like if I was in space, my hair would be short as shit
Right.
because
Right.
I'm
It'd
not
be
I'm not messing
a
with
wash and
this
go
inside.
situation.
Yeah, I'm not messing with this inside a helmet because I don't like it touching me anyways. So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like that she was able to be herself and express herself, and she is in such a strong role and not like
Mhm.
you said, not background and not
Yeah.
like I said
Yeah.
earlier, not set dressing.
And I think to a
Mhm.
certain extent, she even has more pull among the crew than the captain even did.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, because
Because
she's
they were
smart
like,
and they
we're
know.
following her.
Right. They
You
know
just,
she's gonna
you
make it
just
make
eye
sense.
candy.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, she's gonna make it make sense every time.
Mhm.
Yes.
Absolutely. And here we have this
Oh
woman
yeah.
gets better with age.
Yes.
She is like fine wine. Michelle Hurd is like fine wine. She gets better with
Yes.
age. Okay,
Yes.
because she looked just like that when she was doing SUV, Law
Yeah.
and Order SUV. She
Yes.
she and it has been quite a few years. This woman is a mature woman, but she
Yeah.
has not aged. She is absolutely beautiful. I love
Love
that
her.
they keep her hair. See how ponytail? Yeah, her hair is up, but it doesn't look like her curls has been pulled out of her. They use
Mhm.
that
Yeah, it's
ponytail
natural.
with
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could see this. This is natural. And throughout Star Trek Picard, when her hair is down, it's nice and curly and it's down.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
her uniform is amazing. She is so powerful. And she has such a tragic background.
Story. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I think that I'll be honest, it kind of bothered me that they had to pick the black woman to give her that story.
To have all the stress.
And
She
the
doesn't have
I
her
mean,
kids,
drugs.
and
well,
she's
And
like,
let's dive back
yeah.
into let's dive into it. Deep Space Nine. We got my wife was murdered by the Borg. I'm a single father, and now, oops, surprise, I'm the emissary. And I'm not captain. I'm commander. You know what I
Yes.
mean, lieutenant commander, whatever. And then you got Burnham, who started out not, and she was a
She was a
mutinous.
commander and then a mutineer.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was a
right.
mutineer. Yeah, so there's always like tragic backstory.
Little, they got to
Yes.
give us some struggle to make it make sense. Almost
Yeah,
like
and
they're like,
Uhura's the only
Well,
one that isn't
no,
struggling. You know what I mean?
even Uhura, because her family was killed. She watched her
Oh, that's
family
right.
die in
yeah,
That's
the
yeah,
right.
shuttle crash.
Yeah, good
yeah.
That's
They
call.
got to give us a
right.
little bit of
Backstory
a
too.
struggle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody
Which
got a struggle. Like
Maybe
listen,
did Lieutenant Geordie LaForge, did he have a struggle?
well,
his
yeah,
mom
his
died in the
Oh
thing,
yeah,
his vision.
and his vision. Yeah, his
yeah,
mom.
yeah. They
Yeah,
got to give us a struggle to make it make sense.
Explain that to
yeah.
me. How did Jordy was born in the century where they could wipe out with a hypo spray just about anything, and they can't
But not
fix
his eyes,
his
baby.
eyes,
No,
but he was
no, no,
able
no,
No,
no, no, no, no.
no.
They're like, no, nothing could be done. We couldn't do anything about it.
yeah,
Sorry.
keep
Yeah,
it going. Let me give you
no.
a painful instrument for you to see.
Yeah. But
Right.
as far as Michelle Hurd, she's a superhero because
Yes,
not
Yeah.
only was
yes.
she a badass in this show, she's
Mhm.
also a badass in real life. She's one of the reasons why they got the guild, the Actors Guild, Screen
Yeah,
Actors
Yeah.
Guild.
yeah,
She fought. She was like one of the big people at the table,
yeah.
Yeah,
fighting for the rights of the background actors so that they wouldn't just be all AI and
yeah.
and
Hmm.
She's
so many big
amazing.
wins. She's amazing. And
Yeah.
I got to go to my first Star Trek Las Vegas this year,
Did
and
you see her?
I saw her, and it almost got canceled because luckily because she got involved and she stepped in and said, okay, we're going to set up this thing where the actors can't talk about Star Trek, they can't talk about
Right.
anything, they can talk about their personal stuff, their podcasts, and the podcast stuff they can talk about without issue and no
Yeah.
subterfuge.
Hmm.
But she was part of the negotiation as well, Jerry Ryan. So
Mhm.
every time
Yeah.
I see Michelle Hurd, I am just floored. It's like, oh,
She's amazing. I thought when I first was introduced to her, Michelle Hurd, I saw her in Law and Order SUV,
Mhm.
and when their character was taken out, I was like, "Oh, that's just rude.
mhm.
Why
Yeah.
can't they bring another black character without taking her out? Like
Well,
there was no need for that. I didn't like her storyline, how they got her out.
Mm.
I felt that it was very no, I just don't see a woman doing that,
it was
especially
very
one who
forced
works in
and
there.
yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
I
Yes.
didn't realize until I'm rewatching Daredevil. I'm rewatching all the Netflix Marvel shows in order,
Mhm.
and I forgot that she was in Daredevil. That
Yes.
Mhm.
she's the district
Yeah.
attorney. I mean, she
Yeah.
died, of
Yes.
course, but
Of
you
course.
know,
You know.
it's just still
Of course.
I forgot that she was in there. I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Mhm.
a familiar
I
face.
know. When I saw Picard, I was like, "What do I know her from?" I'm always like that
Oh,
when I
yeah.
because I watch too much TV, so I'm always like, "Wait a minute, what do I know?" I'm like everything. I'm like, Wait a minute, hold on. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you got to get the IMDb out and
Yeah.
look.
Yeah. Yeah.
everything
That's
I
what I'm
watch.
Absolutely.
doing.
Absolutely. And I felt like there was such a disservice to her in SUV for
Yeah.
getting her
Really wrote
out
her
that
off.
way.
Yeah,
But I thought that this character, and again, it's like Tiffany says, you got to give us drama in order to give us cred. Uh,
right.
Yeah.
Disco was going to be who he was with or without his wife present, with or without that tragedy. They didn't have to give him that.
Right.
Um, and I
Even
did
though
not.
it gave him a good reason to verbally smack
Yes.
the card.
Yes.
Yes. I
Yeah,
love
Oh, I know
that.
who
yeah,
you are,
yeah,
mother.
Yes.
Like it was.
yeah,
Yeah.
We all complain about these captains that talk down to Picard, but he was the first one. He also was the only one that Q appeared once and said, "Oh, never again."
That's right.
Why?
I'm
Because he
not
punched him
Picard.
in the face.
Yeah.
And get out.
yeah,
Yes. And I
yeah.
think that this tragic backstory idea is horrible because it's not really done to everyone. And it
No.
feels like every single person of color, this tragic backstory is given.
Yeah, it's definitely the way that
Yeah.
they're gonna write. They're gonna write it to
Well,
where they have to be strong for something. There's something that's gonna push her forward,
Yes.
give her a reason to not just saving the world, but she has a reason to redeem herself with her family.
Mhm.
You know, she has all
Mhm.
this stuff going on in her background. Like even in the last season of Picard, she's like her son is like bullying her about not being there, and she's trying to save the
Yeah.
world. And
That's right.
Yeah. I also think it was very unfair that the husband says, "Well, it's either your son or the information." Do you
right,
even understand what's at stake here? And
right, yeah,
don't use your son as leverage because
yeah.
you want to control me.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
didn't.
he wouldn't let her see her
Yeah,
grandchild or something. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
mhm,
exactly.
I was
yeah,
just thinking though, I was like, well, did Worf have a tragic backstory? But he did.
Yeah,
Yes,
his
he
parents
did.
is
His
dead.
parents were killed and he was
yeah,
raised by
Yeah.
by
He
the
was
yeah,
Russian
Russian
couple.
Roshenko, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Why
like,
it's Alexander Roshenko.
uh-huh.
I'm not really good with this whole parenting thing. You want to take this one?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and then Alexander has a tragic backstory.
Yeah. My dad just dropped me off and said, "See ya."
Can we
After
just
my mom died. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
can
I'm
we
right.
telling
just
you.
succeed without the drama?
Nope,
Mhm.
never. So
Never.
next time you see a character, you're gonna be like, dang, they got a tragic backstory too.
Yeah,
Every-
every time.
Here
Every
it
time.
comes, here it comes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now we're gonna enter into an amazing segment that Sarah's gonna bring us to, which is the real female scientist. Sarah, take it away.
Okay. We have Alexa Irene Kennedy. Born in Lansing, Michigan in 1950. Hold on.
He said Alexa. Oh
You said
no.
Alexa
Everybody
after
Alexa just
Alexa.
heard.
Yeah. No, I already turned it off. I don't know why it's back on again. But yeah. I'm gonna say it
Jesus
all
is
right.
always
Go ahead.
listening.
Turn it off.
She's
Okay.
always listening, girl.
Mhm.
She in your
Okay.
business.
She was born in Lansing, Michigan in 1950. She came from a well-educated, intellectual family with a strong tradition of public service, where education and intellectual pursuits were encouraged. Her mother, Elizabeth Kennedy, was a civil rights leader and the first African American elected to the Lansing Board of Education.
Wow.
Alexa's father, Dr. Clinton Kennedy Jr., was a dentist. Alexa excelled in academics, both in the classroom and on test scores, earning a National Achievement Scholar nomination in 1967 before graduating from high school with honors. Kennedy attended the University of Michigan, where she earned a BA, which is a Bachelor of Arts, in zoology, and then she enrolled in their medical school and received her medical degree. In 1982, after finishing her residency at the University of Minnesota, Dr. Kennedy decided to specialize as a pediatric neurosurgeon, becoming the first African American and the first woman to do so. She chose pediatrics because of her love of the children in the pediatric ward during her residency, stating, "It never ceases to amaze me how happy the children were. As a patient focused surgeon, she was known to play video games with her pediatric patients and form relationships with each and every patient, which you can see here. She's playing with one of the kids. After just 4 years, Dr. Kennedy became chief of neurosurgery at the age of 36. She
Ooh.
spent much of her surgical career at the Children's Hospital of Michigan, where through her efforts, the neurosurgery program achieved national recognition as a top pediatric neurosurgery department in the country. Her academic career was spent at Wayne State University as a well-respected professor and vice chair of the neurosurgery department. Although she had no interest in being the dean of a medical school, she passed on her knowledge through her hands-on patient care first techniques, instilling these qualities in the surgeons she trained and those she worked alongside. Dr. Kennedy continued to be both an advocate for her profession and for diversity in medicine. During her career, Dr. Kennedy engaged in research to make advances in neurosurgical techniques. This research led to the invention of a programmable anti-siphon shunt to help treat hydrocephalus, which is an abnormal amount of fluid accumulation inside the brain. She shares a U.S. patent for the shunt with two fellow neurosurgeons. Dr. Kennedy said, "Surgery is a service business. You provide a service as unobtrusively as possible, but you must be human. To provide good quality care, it is important for patients to be able to talk to you and not regard you as some sort of deity above them." Dr. Kennedy retired and moved to Florida in 2001, but she was convinced to return to work as the only pediatric neurosurgeon in her area. She finally fully retired in 2012 and is living peacefully in Florida.
Wow,
Until
he
Ron
is
DeSantis became governor,
amazing.
but she wants to get out of there.
Run.
Right?
That's a whole different podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I gotta say that I love
But-
that segment because seeing the joy in her face when
Yes.
I know.
sees the success that she has, and when you're doing a job that not only when you do a good job, it's great, you did a good job. When you do a good job in this field, you're saving a life.
Yeah.
And children's
or
lives.
improving. Yeah, you're
Mhm.
improving somebody that had a traumatic moment.
Yeah,
So this is excellent.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that is super important.
And
And
I'm over
I
here
think,
like,
yeah.
I got one. I know the lady that invented the spatula. And I'm glad you had that.
Just in case you needed a
You are
backup,
so
lady.
funny.
You had
Yeah.
something.
You gotta have you gotta have backup. And let me tell you, the spatula is important.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
is very much so.
Yeah.
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 We'll add
Okay.
that to the list. Maybe we'll use it later.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. There
Yes.
you go. I'll send you
Send
the
Sarah
info.
that name and she
Yeah,
will do
yeah.
the research.
There you go. There you go.
But we're gonna go on to our book segment because I got something for you, people.
What you got?
Oh, so ominous.
I know, I love it. Now, this author, Samuel R. Delaney, is considered the GOAT of African American writers in sci-fi. And he wrote a book called Babel 17. Babel 17 was written by Samuel R. Delaney. It is it's a winner of the Nebula Award for Best Novel of the Year. This fascinating book tells the story of a famous poet bent on deciphering a secret language that is the key to the enemy's deadly force, a task that requires that she travels with an improbable crew to the site of the next enemy attack. Can I tell you, I love the fact that the main character in this story is a girl. It's a
Woohoo.
woman, and she is a linguist. Made me think of a hoorah. You guys can get this on Audibles, on Amazon, your local libraries. This is an amazing book, an amazing author. I'm actually currently reading another book from another female Black author, which I'm going to be bringing to you soon. I'm going to try to bring more POC authors to this segment because I want to show the diversity of sci-fi in the
Mhm.
writers as well.
Mhm.
So that is really crucial and important. And the next thing we're gonna what I want to do is do a little podcast recommendation. There's a few podcasts out there that I want to recommend. I love the music.
Yeah.
First and foremost, it's always our buddy Jace with his VHS
Jace.
Jace YouTube channel. Go check him out if you're nostalgic for some old 80s TV shows and streaming and video clips. He's got them for you. He's also, I'll tell you, the man is everywhere. He's also with my buddy Rick, which he does the pop culture spread on Friday and Saturdays, which they bring you media news and TV show updates with an Australian twist. He's also with Jason Roy Gaston channel where they do the VHS Vault. They also have a podcast called If You Disagree, You're Wrong, and The Power of J Skull. And of course, I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah,
Can't
look at
decide.
him handsome with no facial hair. It looks better than
Every
the first movie.
Thursday, anything Star Trek, these guys cover it from TOS to current. Check them out every Thursday at 9 p.m. He also has To Be Seen, the council room where they talk all things Doctor Who. And Nerdy Up North.
Nerdy.
Nerdy Up North. I gotta update my Nerdy Up North because they also have Gig Up North,
Yeah.
Nerdy Up North, Monster Up North, Trekking Up North, Gaming Up North. They just have an array of different podcasts. And they're definitely fantastic group. We also have the Phoenix Sisters. They just do a lot of cosplay, kind of podcasting, a lot of geeky stuff. They did a fundraiser recently.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they did a fundraiser raising funds for comics for kids, for children in hospitals or in cancer centers. And they did really well. I think they met their goal. So that was pretty fantastic. I'll be on their podcast soon. The closer we get to that date, I'll let you guys know when. Also, we have here the Silver Screen Podcast, who is also with Hit or Miss Star Trek. They do really great show. So check them out as well. I'll also be appearing on them, but that's coming up soon and I'll let you guys know. And we have Earth Station Trek. They do all things Trek. They have one episode which I love with their tasting all the wines and spirits of Star Trek, which was really fun to watch. I will actually be on Earth Station Trek on February 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're gonna be reviewing the documentary for Deep Space Nine, What We Left Behind. Of course, my favorite Star Trek is Deep Space Nine. So
Same.
I'm going to be, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Our next episode for the Sci-Fi Queens is going to be February 23rd at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And we're going to have two guests that night. One is a novice sci-fi watcher. So she's new to sci-fi, and another one, an avid sci-fi watcher. And we're going to be reviewing the movie Alita Battle Angel.
At least I got to pick it, and it's a good one.
Yes,
That is a good movie. I did ask you.
Yes.
Did you guys see it already? Because I don't want to spoil it. But
don't spoil it. I'm actually going to watch it tonight for the first time.
Yeah. No, but sometimes when Nita picks, they're not so good.
No, they're not. Historically, Sci-Fi Queens has not picked very good movies.
Yeah.
So we're
The one you
hoping
guys, I watched a lot of it. Was just like, this is depressing. I was like,
we're hoping to break that cycle.
Yeah, bring the good to the table.
Absolutely. But it was so much fun having Joe and having Tiffany here to celebrate Black History Month. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Tiffany. You guys have any last minute things you want to plug? Let me know. Talk to us.
We are, of course, I am one of the hosts of the Captain's Quadrant, co-host extraordinaire with Jason Roy Gaston and the returning VHS Jace. We're going to be back with the Agony booth, and we're going to dive into Discovery, of course. But we are also gaming. We're doing every Friday, usually at 9, but tonight a special observation, obviously, for Black History Month. But we are gaming the Star Trek Prodigy Supernova game. I just saved Rocktoe in the latest one, so we're going to go on to save Zero. And That's where we're
Ah,
headed right now.
excellent. Tiffany, anything you want us to know, anything coming up? She also has a YouTube channel as well. And you can follow her
That I
on
need
her
to start
social
posting
media.
on more. But mostly, but mostly I'm on TikTok, posting videos, almost daily. Yep, there it is. Almost daily, but I do need to start posting more on YouTube. It's a thing I haven't done much of. But yeah, that's me. I talk about TV all the time, mostly anything TV, not just sci-fi. I'm into it all, but I
Mhm.
am a sci-fi nerd girly. So anything you want to talk about that, I'm your girl. I'm your
Yes,
girl. I wanted to
yes.
say, Joe, before we go, I saw the Doctor Who. I didn't know you had a Doctor Who podcast.
Oh yeah.
Shooty Gatwa,
Oh
are
my
you are
God,
you?
so good. I love him.
Oh
What
yeah.
what
Oh
is
my
going on?
God,
Is he?
Oh,
he's so fresh.
it's so not.
Oh.
I
I'm
can't wait.
living
There's
for
a little
it.
bit of drama
Hmm.
there. You know, the young lady
Yeah,
that's his companion, she's got, short staffed, unfortunately. But
I know.
that
I thought
happens.
it was so sad that they had to
Yeah.
change it so quickly.
yeah,
But I'm
Yeah.
yeah,
hoping that in proper Doctor Who style, they give her a nice kind of exit story because I think Doctor Who is known for their exit stories being really well constructed. And I'm hoping they give her that much.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Either
know.
well constructed or very abrupt.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. And you're dead. Goodbye.
yeah. That's
Oh,
it.
gonna miss
She's a
her.
Cyberman now. So
Yeah,
see ya.
she's Cyberman Bill. Yeah, looking at you, Bill. Cyberman Bill.
Right.
Oh
And
my
Oh my God,
God.
who
that.
else here
Don't even
thinks?
get me started on that.
Oh
Oh
Who
no,
God.
I
here
was
thinks?
Oh.
I
I
hated
have a
that.
question. Who else here thinks that the new Doctor Who should not wear pants in
I
all
loved his gender fluidness. Like that
Oh
Christmas
Yeah,
yeah.
episode, he was
those
that's
dancing.
legs?
amazing.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, his legs. But I love him in general. Like he,
Yes.
oh,
He's
don't don't get me
he's got
started. I can talk for hours.
he's got Zriz. That's what we call it.
Yeah,
The Riz.
yes,
Yes.
yeah, he
He's
does.
got
It's
Zriz.
it's
He
Yeah.
does.
it's
He
gonna be
does.
new. It's gonna be some new, good era, a
It's
new
May,
era of
right?
Doctor
In
Who.
May.
Yes.
Uh huh.
I really sometimes I worry when they say, "Oh, the first black person, blah blah blah," in the
Yeah,
show,
yeah,
because you never know. Well, are they going to write this
yeah,
character the right way? But Doctor Who is known for writing really good
yeah.
characters,
But
Mhm.
the
and
way they introduced it, the way
Yeah.
they really went ahead
they
and
were
said, "I'm black," they were
amazing.
like, "Wait, you're black?" He was like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah. And I loved it. And I loved
yeah,
how they kind of inserted right
yeah,
before bringing him on. There's been a black woman. She didn't have a
Yeah.
series, but there's been a
yeah,
Right.
black
yeah, yeah,
woman.
Yeah.
yeah,
She was
yeah,
in
They
yeah."
it.
There
kind
She
of
was
was
a
a
have
good
doctor.
doctor
inserted
though. Hold
him
on.
in
Uh-huh.
there.
I
Yeah,
think
She
it
was
yeah.
was
a good
easier for
doctor.
them to do
Yeah.
the black woman first, just his,
Hmm.
just as palatable, for people
Yes,
watching Doctor Who. They were like, we're
historically.
gonna do this black woman, she's gonna be great. Then we're gonna do this black man, but we're gonna do him at the same time as David Tennant because he's a really beloved doctor. We're
Right.
gonna kind of write that into where he can kind of hand him the reins, and it's not like
Yeah,
an abrupt, like, oh yeah, you had David Tennant. Now
yeah,
you got this man.
Yeah.
They did an
yeah,
excellent job. I had no
yes.
Mhm.
I
complaints
was
about how they
like,
did
you
that.
don't need pants. Just give him a t-shirt and we're
Please,
good.
please. I was like, I
Please,
loved it.
those
No
legs,
pants.
Yeah.
those legs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I'm melting. I'm like old lady over here having hot flashes.
Get your fan ready, Nita, because I'm
Woo!
sure there's gonna be
I'm,
more legs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
having
saw
to
some
get a
clips,
church
man. You're gonna
fan, the
be
one with the wooden stick.
yeah.
Your church fan.
No church
The church lady. Oh,
fan.
good
Oh my
my
goodness.
word. My
Yes.
word.
But
Clutching
thank
your
you so
pearls.
much, guys, for
Yes, thank you for
coming. This
having
is
me.
gonna be a lot of fun.
I
Yeah.
got you, Nita. I got
What
you.
happened?
Oh, there
Yeah,
you go. That's the
you got
man.
the
Yeah.
church lady fan right there.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
um yes, and Tiffany, you are always welcome here.
Yes,
uh
please.
Please have me back.
yes, absolutely, definitely. Sarah and I got a meeting this weekend because we set up our shows in advance, so we
Hmm.
meet with professionals. All right.
And when you guys are ready
Mm.
to talk Doctor Who, come on aboard.
Yes.
Yes.
Sign
Yeah.
Whenever
me up,
you
Joe.
want
You know I'm
us.
ready. You know I'm
Yep.
ready.
Yep.
Joe,
Yep.
I'm gonna put this out there. I'm down
Yeah.
for
Yeah. No.
a
Ernesto loves having
podcast,
people now. So.
on The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah, that
You
would
Oh
be
got your
yeah.
crew
Yeah.
right here. You
awesome.
got your crew right here.
Yeah.
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 There you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
Um, but yeah, I mean, The Walking Dead and this new Doctor Who when he comes on,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Nita, get Apple TV.
I
So we
have to
can
get
talk
Apple
about it.
TV. I did not know, guys, that you didn't have to have an iPhone to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
Apple
No,
TV. I
no,
just
No,
found
you
that
just
out.
it's just like any other subscription app. You
Yeah.
just sign up and you get it going.
you download the
Yeah,
app, you're good
and
to
And
go.
you will
you
be
know,
immersed for days, Nita. Since you knew,
Yeah, you're gonna
follow
be
Foundation,
they'll never
oh,
find
no.
me. They'll be like, Sarah will be like, we got a show. Do we? Because I'm
and you're
on
like,
the Apple
I'm
TV.
immersed.
Because they have Isaac Asimov's foundation. You don't have to
Oh,
understand.
yeah.
He's my
Start
favorite
with that
sci-fi
one. Go to
author.
Invasion.
Yes,
Invasion's very good.
Yeah,
C is amazing. The first
yes,
season.
see, yes,
The
yes.
first season is so good.
There's so much. There's so
definitely.
much. I'm so jealous, actually, that you get to start. For
Yeah.
all mankind, you gotta watch
Oh
that
yeah,
one.
For All Mankind is good.
There's so much. They don't miss.
Yeah.
They just can't
Definitely,
miss.
definitely.
They
See,
can't miss.
she got the plug-in, guys, for you. She got the plug-in.
There you go.
But thank you
There you
so much. We see you back here at 8
Yeah.
p.m. Eastern Standard Time, February 23rd.
Third.
I think you did. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
I wanted to make sure I said that right. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you. And you have a good night.
Bye.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our new channel so that you can get notified when new videos come up. Thank you.